Hello students, Mr. Jeric M. Rima here. Welcome to our demonstration. So for today's video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to use checkbox here in Visual Basic program. So let's get started. So first, I want to show you the final output. So let's debug it. Okay, now here in our form, I added 6 labels, which is book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, the total, and this is actually a label also. Now I also added 4 checkboxes, this one, okay, 100, 200, 300, and 400, those are checkboxes, and I also added here a button, okay, which is I changed the text property to add. Now once you check, let's say for example 200, and then you click add, the value of that checkbox will be shown here in this label. Okay, now once you also click, let's say for example 400 checkbox, the value of the second checkbox, which is 200, and then the value of the checkbox 4, which is 400, will be added and will be shown here in this label. So let's click add, so that will make 600, and then let's click this another checkbox 100, and that the value of that value will be added also, and then let's click this 300, and again it will be added to the value there. Okay, so we created this program using a checkbox, at the same time a conditional statement. So keep on watching, and then I'll demonstrate to you how I made this program. So let's create new project. So let's go to the file, and then click Ctrl+N or select new, and then make sure you click Windows Forms application, and then let's rename the form or the project here. Let's make it VB checkbox. Okay, and then click OK. Now first is we need to add the controls needed in our program. So we need the toolbox here. Okay, so you may press Ctrl+X if you want to show the toolbox. So first we need to add labels. So click the label here and then drag it onto your form. So we need 6. Okay, so let's add 6 labels. Oops. Here. Okay, so one more, so let's put it here. Okay, now so we have now the 6 labels on our form. Now the next thing that we have to do is to add checkbox. Okay, so look for the toolbox checkbox, click it, and then drag it onto your form. So there, so let's add 4 checkboxes. So there. So you would notice our checkbox, aside from the box itself, it is also accompanied with a label or a text. Okay, so this one. So here. So there. Okay, now we need to add a button. So click the button here and then drag it here, and then position it over there. Okay, so let's close now this toolbox. Okay, the next thing that we have to do is to change the text property of these controls. So we need the properties panel. So here's the properties panel, or F4 on your keyboard. So first we need to change the text property of the label 1. So click the label 1, don't forget that, and then change it to book 1. This one, book 2. Click the label 3, change it to book 3. Label 4, click it to book 4. Okay, so there. Now the label 5, so we want to change the text property of that to total. That's actually the label for that. Okay, for the label 6, let's leave it, let's skip this one. Okay, so let's go ahead in the checkbox 1. Let's change the text property of that to 100. Okay, so go click the checkbox 1, do not forget that, and then go to the text property and then change it to 100. So checkbox 2, let's make it 200. Checkbox 300, and then this one 400. Okay, now for the button, so click the button and then change the text property to add. Oops, sorry. To add something like that. Now for the label 6, okay, so we have special formatting here. So make sure you click label 6. And then let's change first the border style of this label. So first click look for the border style property. And then click the drop down menu and then change it to fixed 3D. And then the next one, we need to change the back color property. So go to the back color property and then look for the info. Okay, so it's more like a yellow color. And then let's add or change the text property or the auto size property, I mean, to false. Okay, so we can now resize our resize our label. So there, yeah. Okay, so there. Okay, let's now delete the text here in the label 6. So go to the text property and then delete the text. And then there. Okay, so let's arrange the controls properly. Oops. Now, the next thing that we have to know is we need to identify the name of our checkboxes. So let's go to the properties again and then let's click the first checkbox. Now, the name of this checkbox is checkbox 1. The name of this is checkbox 2, this one is checkbox 3, and this one is checkbox 4. So it's important that you identify and know the name of the checkboxes because we need that for our code later. Okay. Now the next step is we need now to add codes in our program. So let's close the properties panel. So we need to type our code here in this button. So all we have to do is to double click that. And then we will be transferred here in the code view. Next is we need to declare a constant value. Now what is a constant? Now it is a value that cannot be changed in our program. Now if you want to declare a constant value, so all you have to do is to type const, type here const, and then type the constant name. So let's say for example book1, okay, as integer. So integer meaning to say it should be a number value, a number that can be that can be found in the number line. So let's now assign a value to this constant. So it is 100 since book1 here in our program is 100. And then let's create another constant, book2 as integer equals 200. Now you would notice there's a green line below the book 1 and then the book 2. Now it is not an error, but it is a warning that meaning to say it is an unused local constant. So meaning to say we haven't used this constant value in our program. That's why there's a green line. But once we use or call or declare this constant value in our program, that will be eliminated. Okay, so let's declare another constant, book3 as integer equals 300, constant book4 as integer equals 400. Okay, so there. So meaning to say once we call book 4, meaning to say it's 400. When we say later in our code book 3, so meaning to say it's 300, and so on and so forth. Okay, now next is we need to declare a variable. Now variable is different from constant. Now variable is a storage, so we put value in it, so we do not need the equal sign then the value, the assigned value, so we do not need that for the variable. So if you want, again, like in our previous discussion, if you want to declare a variable, all we have to do is to type dim. So dim, let's say Sam as integer, and then we put value in it. Okay, so that's it. So again, there's a green line because we haven't used these variables, a variable and constants in our program. Now next is we need to have a conditional statement. And then, but before that, I just want to inform you that here in our properties panel, once you check or once you select checkbox, in the properties of checkbox, we have here the check property. So this one, I'll put here. So check property. So by default, it's false. Now, you would notice in the checkbox one, we don't have the check mark because the check property is false. Now, once you check it or once you tick the checkbox, so the value will be now turned to true. So you would notice if it's true, and then the check mark here, the checkbox here will have a check mark, something like that. So let's change it to false. Wait. This one. So let's check. By default, it should be false here. So let's go back now in our code view, and then let's now start typing our conditional statement. Now, in the conditional statement, we need to type if checkbox 1 that check property is equal to true. So meaning to say the checkbox 1 is checked. Okay, so what will happen? Now, it will call sum. So sum is equal to sum plus book 1. Okay, so I will explain this. Now, once the value of check property of checkbox 1 is equal to true, so meaning to say the user checked checkbox 1. Okay, so what will happen? The sum variable so will be equal to its current value plus book 1. So meaning to say the current value of sum is 0 as of the moment, and then if we add book 1, which is 100, so the value now of sum is equal to 100. So that's our code. Okay, now we can copy this one and then paste it here, and then we can change it to checkbox 2. Let's change it to book 2, something like that. And then let's copy and paste it again. Checkbox 3, and then let's change it to 3, and then let's copy and paste it, change it to 4, and then book 4. Okay, something like that. So here again in our program, so once the user checked checkbox 2, then the sum variable will be equal to its current value plus the book 2, which is 200 here. So again, if the user also checked checkbox 3, so its current value now is 200, okay, plus book 3, so which is 300, so therefore the value of sum now will be equal to 500, something like that. So this is our program. Now let's debug our program now. So once you debug it, so once you check, let's say checkbox 1 and then checkbox 3, and then you click add, so you would notice nothing will happen. It is because we haven't instructed the Visual Basic yet where to show the result or the value in the sum variable. Okay, so we need to declare that. Okay, so let's go back here, and then here below, let's type, so we want to show the value or the value of sum here, okay, in the label 6, which is this one. So we need to show it as text property of the label 6. So let's close it, and then let's go back here. So all we have to do is to type label6.text is equal to sum. So meaning to say the text property of label 6 will be equal to the value in the sum variable. Okay, so let's debug it. And then again, let's check this one and then this one, and then you click add. So you would notice it's like that. So if you want to format your the value in the variable, so here if you want to add the peso sign or the 2 dots or the 2 decimal place, I mean, so we can format it using to string converter. So here in the sum, so all you have to do is to type dot and then look for to string, and then open and close parenthesis. Now inside the open and close parenthesis, type double quote and then type the format. So we have different format that we can use to format the value or the string. So it will be discussed we have separate discussion on that. So we type C, Okay, so that means currency if you want to format your string to a currency format with the symbol and then the 2 decimal place. Okay, so let's debug it. So check this one and then check this and then click add. So you would notice, so it will be equal to 400. There's a peso sign and then 2 decimal place or two zeros, something like that. So there. So that's how you use checkbox in the Visual Basic program. Thank you again for watching and see you on our next video.